Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany, and here we talk plants. So today I wanted to talk props. I have been propagating plants since I started my houseplant journey, and I've got quite a few propagating right now. So I wanted to share some of my experience and some that I have right now, and I figure we can talk in the comments, ask questions, give advice. If there is any questions that you have for me, definitely let me know down below. But in terms of propagations, this is what I've got going on right now. So the first one I want to talk about is probably the oldest one that I currently have in water. So all of my propagating that I do in water, only because I've had nothing but luck. I take that back. I've had some failures, but I do have a lot of luck in water. I use a rooting hormone. I do fertilize every once in a while. The oldest one that I currently have is this little snake plant cutting. I've got a great big snake plant downstairs, and this one piece kind of was having a hard time. Decided to just cut it off and propagate it. So it has been in water for some time now, but you can see it has some growth. And I had always seen, you know, the snake plants will rot in water. I did cut this at an angle just so there was more surface for it to grow roots. And then I let it sit out for, I don't know, 12 hours, and overnight let it callus over, and then I just stuck it in some water. And here's where we are now. I am going to leave this in water. I would love to get some little baby stalks popping out. I change the water once a week or so. There's kind of conflicting stories. Do you just refill the water, or do you switch it out? I've always just changed it out, add some rooting hormone to it, and just let it be. It sits on my windowsill, so it gets a lot of light, but I'm pretty proud of this guy. It's pretty cool. The next one that I want to talk about is my fiddle leaf fig propagation. And I no longer own the mother plant that this little guy came from. That was one of those plants that I just failed at. I tried so hard to keep that plant alive, and she just wanted nothing to do with me. So I took a cutting before it really got bad, and I plopped it in some water, and here's where we are now. I mean, that root ball is like nothing I have ever seen before. It is out of control, you guys. It's starting barely, you can see right there, to get secondary roots growing off of the primary roots. So I really do want to get this put in some soil here soon. I don't know what it's gonna do, you know. It's been in water for some time and there's no new growth, but I think I do want to put this into a little 2-inch pot. When I do, I want to just keep the soil super, super moist and monitor this, and maybe I'll get a tree out of this guy. You never know. Fiddle leaf fig. So the next little bunch I have all in one cup, and really all of these I put into water at the same time. And this is what that looks like. It's just a whole bunch of philodendron and pothos. So knowing that they've all been in water for the same amount of time in the same conditions, it's interesting to see what's done really well and what is having kind of a hard time. So let's start with the ones that are having a little bit harder time. Surprisingly, the least amount of growth that I have had comes from this huge golden pothos leaf. And I don't know if it's because the leaf is so large that it doesn't put a lot of energy into the root, but it has a new growth point since I put it this way in water, and then it has that tiny little nub of a water root. That's it. When it comes to my actual potted golden pothos, that thing grows like crazy. I feel like I always have a new leaf coming out, but in water, it's not done great. So let me know. I've seen a lot about pon, I've seen a lot about sphagnum moss, and I have it all. I just haven't put anything into it. So what's your experience when it comes to pothos and propagation? What are you guys doing? What works? What hasn't worked? This is not rotting, but I wouldn't say that it's worked. I'm gonna say this has been in there for probably at least a month, and it's just got that one tiny little root there. The next one I want to talk about, if we're sticking to the pothos theme on the other end of it, this root is so out of control. This one root, it has a tiny little aerial root or other root here, but just one root, and I'm waiting for a secondary root to pop out of it. I do think that before I put this into soil, I'm going to trim it. I think this is also a golden pothos, so I think I'm gonna trim it back just a little bit. We'll see what happens with this. No different care. There is a new growth point, and I think a leaf is gonna be popping out of there anytime soon. So, same plant, different experience. The next one I want to talk about, we're going to change gears a little bit, is some philodendron. So I do have a heartleaf philodendron vine in here that's not done much except for produce a brand new baby leaf. So the root, I guess you can kind of see there a little bit. It's rotted out some of its soil-y air roots. And it's starting to grow a little baby root. This has probably been in water for a month, but in that time it has produced a new baby leaf that is currently unfurling, and then it's also having a new growth here that'll be a leaf. So it is liking water a lot, so I might just keep it in the water. I really would love to put this onto a pole, but I'm just gonna leave it in water for now and see what it does. It sits, turn it so you can see, it sits in the water like this so that it is growing roots out of all of the nodes. And I do have just that one little growth point there that's getting a water root going. So philodendron, heartleaf philodendron. The idea was to pot it into soil, but you know, what's your philodendron doing in water? Just living its life. I want to know if it's worth it to just leave it. And then the last one that I want to talk about, or almost the last one I want to talk about, is this neon pothos here. Is that color so nice? Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. I love this thing. And it is getting some roots, like good roots. Really nice roots. And it is getting a new growth point as well that is rotting just a little bit because it's been in water, which I'm not too bothered by. But I want to put this into my big pothos pot that I have right back here. I'll show you. Kind of just stick a bunch of pothos in there and let it be. Got a grow light in it. There we go. So this is a new golden, it was getting a new leaf, so I took it off of the pole so that it could kind of unfurl that new leaf. But we've got some golden in there, we've got some marble queen and some snow queen in there. So I was thinking about just putting this guy in there as well. How cute. Trimming that back a little bit, but I do want to wait for a secondary root to come out of there as well. They tend to do nicely when they've been in water. Just putting it into here, they're pretty easy going plants. So that's my idea with this little guy, is to make his home with the rest of these pothos in this pothos pot. And then the very last, I said last because I forgot this was even in here, I recently put a cutting of micans. It's it's not even a leafed cutting, but it is getting a new leaf right there. And you can see starting to grow some roots as well. I've got a big long micans that I just cut this little guy off of and threw it in there. So that's what that's doing. All of these leafy plants have been in water for about a month to 2 months, and nothing has rotted. It's all growing and producing new growth and producing roots. I have not had to throw anything out of that cup away. And then this fiddle leaf has been in for months, and then the snake plant has been in for months and will stay in for months, I'm assuming. But that's kind of the process there. It's more of a science experiment for me than, I'm not gonna sell cuttings or anything. It's just something fun and enjoyable. I know that the see-through cup is not the ideal propagation method because once you put it into the soil, it can shock due to the light source being different for the roots. But I like to see, and my whole family likes to see, oh my gosh, look at that root. When did that get so big? That's crazy. Or, oh my gosh, what in the, my kids are like, is that a spider? What is that? Is that a bug? So we all like to look at it. So that's why it's in the plastic cups. If you have questions about propagating, or if you have some really cool tips, or if you want to share some like great success stories, tell me all about your snake plant successes. I would love to hear. Stick around because I have some more videos coming out this week. If you liked this, like this little chit chat, not so serious type of video, give me a like and subscribe, and we'll just chat some more. If you have ideas for videos or questions that you have, let me know and we'll talk. Let's talk plants. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.